Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm wearing today my Rock the Vibes t-shirt as I'm going to review another pair of headphones. This is a full-size overhead Kiwi ears Ardor device. And guys, let me start with something. This thing costs $99 US, has an insane battery size of 1100 milliampere hours. I've been actually using these for the past few weeks without draining. A dual dynamic driver, 40 mils for that rich and low sound, and a 10 mil driver for clarity and good sound stage. And also, guys, hybrid ANC. They're able to reduce the environmental sounds up to 35 decibels. But guys, there are more things, right? They do support Bluetooth 5.4, which I think is kind of obvious for headphones like this, TWS. I mean, it's 2025, but they do also support a wired connection through USB-C and also through 300 mil, guys. So you can hook them up to your amplifier, external DAC, whatever. So let's do a recap. We have these headphones, $100. We have noise reduction. You cannot use a custom app because this thing doesn't exist, but they're really physically tuned to sound good. Also, huge battery, hybrid active noise cancellation. Guys, wired connection, USB-C 3.5 mil, and all of this for $100. So I guess this is a huge claim, and I need to verify it, guys. Now, fun fact, I've been using this for almost 1 month. And honestly, yeah, the short version of this review, they're really great. But if you want to stick around for the full video, for the unboxing, and also how this compares to, let's say, some of my other headphones like the Sony WH-M1000X3, which is one of my favorites, and I even can pronounce the models, then stick around and let's push those to the test. This is the Kiwi Ears Ardor ANC headphones. Kiwi Ears here. We have Bluetooth 5.4. We have the noise reduction depth, okay, 32 decibels. Dynamic drivers, 40 mil and 10 mil, as I told you in the introduction. 32 ohms impedance, which is good because, yeah, you can just hook this up to your smartphone and you can power them. But of course, I'm going to test them. Hybrid active noise cancellation. The battery capacity is 1100 milliampere hours, and believe it or not, but the playing time they claim 140 hours ANC off and 72 hours ANC off, guys. I think I'm coming very close to those values. This has been one of the best things about those headphones. You cannot drain them for days. This is the carrying pouch. Just for comparison, guys, this thing here is the Sony WH-1000X entry, right? So there is a reason why this thing is smaller. Let me show you. But first things first, let's open and see what we have inside. We do have a manual, all right, active noise cancellation, 3.5 mil, guys, and this thing here is also the USB-C cable. The reason why the carrying case is bigger than the Sony WH is the fact that the Sony can go like this, which is not available here. Remember the starting price from the Sony? This thing here costs only 99 USD. Okay, now let me guide you through the design and the build quality. 283 grams. They feel primarily light, and there is a reason, because they're built with plastic. Although the handband adjuster is this stainless steel, I guess. So overall very sturdy, very nice. Those are the ear caps left and right, and I do believe that you can, by the way, replace them. They have this synthetic leather that I think is very fashionable right now, and it feels, by the way, very soft to the touch, almost like, you know, like this memory things. So it's really, really soft. I can't really wait to tell you how I feel with them on my head, because I've been using them since the past few weeks, and honestly, this looks like a nice build quality. And also we have some kind of like synthetic leather finish here that says the Kiwi Ears on the left and on the right cup as well. By the way, guys, they don't really look that cheap, considering the fact that it's more like a mid-range price product, but of course they also don't look on the premium side. But I do believe the design is very, very nice. On the left side, we do have the USB-C port that you can use for charging, but hey, remember, also for a wired connection through USB-C, and then here we have the toggle for ANC. As you clearly can see, ANC, active noise cancellation. And just the fact that you get a, I would say, decent active noise cancellation in a price like this is, I think, brave enough. So on the right side, we do have more ports. Here we have the opening for the 300 mil, which you can use, remember, to also listen to your music connecting it to an external amp or DAC. And here, guys, we have the power button and the volume control. And the volume control, they also double as some other things, so you can use these to rewind or fast forward songs. This is the Ardors on my head. The fit is very comfortable. One of the biggest issues I have with like open ear headphones and earphones like this is the fact that usually, you know, they're very heavy and you kind of feel them. It's the case here as well. I mean, I definitely can feel that I have headphones, but what I do like is the fact that just the ear pads alone are isolating a lot of the noise, and I'm not even able to hear my voice so nice without even using the ANC. Also, the clamping, wow, okay guys, as I told you, when I try to speak into like this, yeah, and boom. So the isolation is very good, which means probably no leakage. And also what I do like, they have this plush element here. You can see this is very soft. And also guys, the clamping force is not that strong, because the worst thing you want is wearing headphones like this is to just squeeze your head to a point where the convenience is gone. Now let's continue with the other things. I've turned them on and I'm gonna add them to my S24 Ultra. So how does pairing work? Quite normally, put just pair, boom, and then you're gonna hear connected. And now it's time to check the available codecs. As you can see, device name, the Kiwi ears Ardor. My current codec is AAC. The battery level is 90%. The volume level is 73. Now guys, these headphones do support AAC and also SBC. So sadly, there is no LDAC available and also no aptX. Some people were saying that there might be aptX. I am not able to find it, so SBC and AAC. And of course, you can just use a tool like this to change the codec, or in some cases, this can also happen via the Bluetooth manager. So if I click on the headphones, guys, I click here, you're gonna see that that's not available. Some headphones do support it from here, but there is a way for you to change from SBC to AAC. So now that we know Ardor supports SBC, which is rather like the default codec, which offers somehow like a basic audio quality, and AAC, which provides better quality, and this is, I guess, a codec that Apple loves. It's a bit disappointing that they do not have the LDAC support, because they are marketed as audiophile headphones, and it would have been good to have, let's say, a more premium codec such as the LDAC. But guys, at this price point, there are really some things that needs to be cut just to be able to achieve this type of quality with that battery and with this feature. So let's continue. This is the included manual, from which guys will understand that they will provide dual device connection, which is good because this means that you can connect them to at least two of your devices. And you can also understand how some of the features works. For example, if you press the MFB, like the multifunctional button, you can play or pause the song. The volume up will increase the volume and the volume down will reduce the volume. But then guys, when you hold the volume up for 1 second, you go to the next song. When you hold the volume down for 1 second, you go to the previous songs. And with the MFB button, you can answer calls, end calls, reject incoming calls. And there are more features such as switching from gaming to the music mode. So the gaming mode will give you a lower latency, and of course some settings for the ANC. Also, you can use the ANC in the aux mode. Those are very, very good things, guys. So you can see we have 3 pages alone with things that you can do with those headphones. If I press the MFB button or the multifunction button, which is actually the power button, guys, I can resume my song. All right, let's see what happens when I stop my song and I double press it. All right, you can see I'm able to start my voice assistant. Now, how can I change from game to music mode? I need to triple press it. All right, now I'm in the normal mode, another triple press. Now I'm in the gaming mode, which is supposed to give me low latency. Let's test this for a second. I am now in the normal mode. All right, I think it's actually quite nice. I definitely can hear when the ball is hitting that element. All right, now let me just go back to the gaming mode. Yeah, even better, guys. So definitely low latency. Now, I'm not sure how good this is going to be for gaming. I still do recommend to use a wired connection because, yeah, this option exists. Actually, let me try the wired connection. I'm going to take the Ardor and I'm going to put the USB-C cable here. And then, guys, I'm going to attach it to my S24 Ultra. Let's see if that thing is going to work. Now I'm going to try to listen to the music. Yeah, the music is on. Yeah, now I'm going to try to kill my Bluetooth. Yeah. No music. All right. And music. By the way, you can see they have also an indication light. When I kill the Bluetooth, this is gonna blink. What is gonna happen if I try to put my Bluetooth on and I'm gonna connect to the Kiwi ears Ardor? Boom, now we have a stable blue light. The ANC button has 3 functions: ANC on, ANC off and transparency mode, which will allow you to still listen in what happens outside with some isolation and also get your voice through. But it's time to test the ANC. I've enabled the ANC. Alright, I can still listen to the crowd. Now let me switch it off. Okay, so guys, it's really good. You know, it's not, I guess, up to the level of the Sonys that I use, and you definitely can hear how some of the lower noises I isolated. When I switch the ANC off, I can definitely hear more like white noise, but I can still definitely also capture some from the crowd. So the ANC in that condition, it's not bad, but it's also not the best I've seen. And don't forget that the primary function of the ANC is just to get this low frequency kind of off, and I do believe that the Ardor does this just very good. And now let's discuss the main thing besides the battery, the design and everything else, and that's the sound. So what about the sound, guys? Remember, there is no custom app that you can use to fine-tune, let's say, your EQ, but that's not necessarily bad because they've been like physically tuned to sound in a certain way, and it's more like a V-shaped sound. So the basses are really full, very lively, and you can notice them. They're not really so thick compared again to the Sony, but you can clearly hear the bass, and it's there, and it's going to sound just right. Mid-range sounds are okay, a bit thinner compared to the Sony that I'm using, but have in mind that they're using this kind of V-shaped tuning. What this means is that when you're listening to some instrumental music or music with vocals, it might be a bit of a thin and it's going to lack a bit of a presence, but it's not something dramatic, and the overall sound stage is actually going to be very nice. And also, guys, I've been listening to these for hours without any fatigue in my ear, so that's also important. And then what about the treble? Well, it's there and it's very crystal clear, very sharp. Again, thanks to this V-tuning that they're using to achieve this audiophile sound, I guess. And remember, you cannot really change this tuning. You can use some aftermarket apps to play with the EQ, which I did, but honestly, the default tuning is very good for prolonged sessions of music, for prolonged usage with YouTube videos, for example. And the sound is actually very good. Now remember, I've been comparing this with my Sony WH-1000X3, which were just expensive when they launched years ago, and this is really a very good product. And what really impresses me with the Ardors right now is how the least expensive headphones are now able to kind of close the gap with headphones that cost sometimes 3, 4, 5 times the money, right? I think that's impressive. 5 years ago, that was not the case. 5 years ago, if you buy a product like this, you know it's gonna be bad. This thing here, very good battery, I would say a decent active noise cancellation with a transparency mode, also music and gaming mode with low latency, which is your thing. And remember, USB-C and 3.5mm wired input, which is simply great. So the overall product, guys, is just good. And the most impressive thing is that they're really closing the gap between this type of products like $100 and a more expensive product like this. Now, I'm not saying that you're gonna get the same build quality, the same functionality, the same sound quality and the same ANC. You're not getting also fancy touch controls. You need to use the buttons here, but you're getting a very decent amount of that for a price that is just much better. That is really impressive. Like a product like this, the Kiwi Ears Ardors is able to close that gap on the most important things, which is build, which is comfort, and the most important thing, guys, sound quality. So I really hope that you have liked this video. If that's the case, you can check some of my previous videos, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, VST over and bye.